the free at basic level. But after our private education, I get to a big secondary year. We are ready to patronize the free at secondary level.
Because
I had
a
curious case, man. A curious case, man.
The people who are patronizing the secondary school, no, it is not like it is not like it is free in banko. It is a policy of my say it is free.
But there are private secondary schools too.
Exactly. Yeah. But are they top-notch secondary schools? The top-notch secondary schools now, who made them top? Most of the top-notch secondary schools are
faith-based. Most of them are all faith-based.
The runners, no money top.
So should we?
And then who call those so-called top secondary schools? Maybe apart from academics, no, what's your environment? No,
yeah.
So faith-based. No, some more basic schools. So.
But Raymond, you see, all these questions you're asking, you made a point.
Share video say your correspondent.
At the same end.
How many parents and Anka, if they had the choice, classrooms and continue and then and to walk while bet me at our desk. Now bet
class no what at the class name.
Oh, quite you bet me at our desk. So now me bananas because the video be and bear 6 that form and at 3 video.
It is this.
Their parents bought them for them. But can the parents go and build a school building too?
It is this Asema Fatika. Any other Asema Nkofaka, any pictures, Ninyama. And the perception be a share.
It is not a perception. It is a
reality. A dream be a share Ghana for a dream. This so-called reality, which we can narrow down to just a few schools.
No, not true.
Come
not
on.
True.
Come on.
Not true.
Let's go to Accra. Let's call the whole of Accra. If you like government schools and see if that is the state in every school.
You limit Ghana to Accra. You are limiting Ghana to Accra.
Me say, we are in Accra. Let us tour Accra today and look at the state of government schools and our public schools. Yes, say, picture now, my parents is here and our students are lying on the floor with their bellies. Let's see if that is the case there. You see, I'm saying that we have allowed Sir Adwinwe to creep into the minds of parents to the extent say parents really say, oh, even if there's a public school in front of my house, me punuchi. Asama Fatia kanchi, no, WW. Me person me baba ko ababa ko da for me. We have conveniently run down the public schools to give oxygen to the private schools. Now they are squeezing us with school fees.
You see,
we are complaining.
Come on. Now, and we have options.
Yes.
And so, if we don't like, which we have made the decision to go to private. No, we haven't made a decision to go to private schools. We are forced to make those decisions. We didn't voluntarily make those decisions. Go to the public schools in Accra, as you referenced, in Accra, and compare them to the private schools are one more the same vicinities. And look at the facilities that the private schools are offering them. And ask yourself the simple question, say, are the public schools, the primary schools saying, say, the kind of facilities that these private schools are offering over years, our my side they will say, no. The public schools say they can do some. The atmosphere in which they teach. I didn't interrupt you.
Just give us the products,
specifics. The atmosphere.
The manner they provide now.
The atmosphere. And I'm telling you, the atmosphere. Just the entry into the school. Share the compound. When you enter a private school, you should share grass. You from neat. No, Ramon. That is what is pushing you to go there. No, but why would my child? You are talking about my child's health.
You are paying for the grass you are complaining.
You are talking about my child's health.
You are paying for the grass you are complaining.
No, Ramon. You see, government, we don't vote them into power to come and give us mediocre services.
Me say any member bebre o high
We vote them into power to come and give us high quality services.
You follow me soil and go school.
Yes, we did.
One for abu and go school.
We did.
But these days, no, we trust on your money mu. Who teacher wonder why I'll be catching obi basa uncle sister lomi soil.
Maybe I'll come back and I'll make the case. We have no option.
You have options.
We don't have options. We are just being forced to go to the private schools, and I'm coming. Your name is Mr. Obefo Kwesi Jetwa Inokenin Komo, or National Executive Director, Ghana National Council of Private Schools. No, yɛne no ɛni nkɔmmɔ. It's good to have you, Mr. Obinfo Anope.
Yeah, Joe, opening kasi na ti saying.
Yɛho na hyehye yɛn but yɛbɛyɛ ne dɛn.
Within here say mensa na sa same.
Yɛfrɛ me Same.
Okay. Any.
Ɔpani,
Ye nyina yɛn ho yɛ same.
yo, yɛda Awurade ase. Ɔpani, parents bebree ɛna ɛteatea mu ɛtwa adwo ɛva ɛyɛ private schools fees a mo gye. Pacho, adeɛ na ɛkɔ ɛyɛ the formulation of fees a mo gye ɛwɔ schools no.
Same me da se. Ma yɛnkyia woni wachifo any panelist a no pray omo wo studio ho nyina na me ma mo asinhyia pa de toss bi. Same ma ensa me bo asa no so ma me set this records we ntimi mboa ma yen discussions no enye kam. Say ye can say private school a won dwumadie no 1992 constitution article 25 no I'm making provisions at the amount. So what kind Article 25 clause 2 of 1992 constitution now? Semi-paraphrase here, or say every person shall have the right. This will be a one a quanya and answer a quana which me at school. I was say be a friend of my front of Fifi or a copy mofra, baby be aware there or PBR. Now, I say constitution, you know, I'm a kind of say. That right in the right of establishment. So we see a dying, would they improve their facilities, and then the right of maintenance. So we say, at the end of the year, Obama a home active, na a hamburger ebebem. Na Arewosema constitution a country private schools and say at your own expense, meaning that one a home in Krasimbiano. While common eda. And that kind of statement, you know, makes private education a social business venture. It makes it a social business venture. What it means is the education itself is a social activity. You cannot deny anybody. But when it becomes you as a person, you know, shoulder it alone. Then it becomes a business. So you have to invest it. And as you are investing, then you recoup your investment. Different countries, be a sister country, to say Liberia. Liberia, so I mean, the government sponsored them 25% of their operational costs. Until the government has a control of whatever the private schools are doing. Niger, the government sponsors 45% of their salaries. Until the government has control in the private education. About over Ghana, government sponsors 0% of private education. For that matter, the determination of operation of private schools, it becomes very difficult and becomes the sole responsibility of the investor. Now, Ubusa say yen school fees it's upon the maintenance of the school fees and no na ye bibia ye freno maintenance cost, tuition fee, stationaries, textbooks, you can library facility and I say facility usage and utility bills. And she said, what can we in a boma and I'll bet me a dimba qua your friend school fees. Now, son will be better school fees. Ghana had a culture of education at the private sector. I say, getting to the third term, now I shall say, every yen investors, any service providers, because textbooks, any kunya, chalk, I shall say, from no mono day projectory bill at the brain. Now your free PTA meeting consultatively no eno makasa na etumi aboa ama ye hunu bila ebetimi ayusu no first term e wo saa kwan no so na dwumadie ya private school said since 1992 edi be ya many workers same ye were over 22,000 private schools and they were my Ghana oko Greater Accra. Private schools contribute 52% of the total number of schools at Greater Accra, which is the seat of the government. And then what it also means in this data I'm giving to you is MS data, 2017-2018 data. Even if you go to the 2021-2022 data, private schools, the gap is so wide in terms of even the Greater Accra, you see. So what has become necessary, parents at the basic level have seen the tremendous effort that the government, the private schools are doing. And also, they are so happy with the outcomes that their children are getting. Until over the pre-tertiary level, now, at the basic level, now, enrollment aspect in private schools take control of 42% at the enrollment level. Until enye jumedi ketua na private schools niji ewo man Ghana. I don't said and done no. Sami answer nebe to school fees mono. We do consultation. And based on the consultation from our suppliers, our stakeholders, i.e. the parents, the teachers, and on a my they factor into na the to school fees in Ghana.
Okay, a lot of education this morning. Now, Minjina and also Namimbisa a few questions. Now, all highlight some of the issues, all highlight tuition, all highlight maintenance cost, all highlight others. One of them textbooks. Another one, young come was uniforms. Now, in the build-up of cost, textbooks, most of these private schools, compulsory school and the Bema war. Uniforms, most private schools, compulsory school and the Bema war. Tuition the enya in that. But I ask myself, say, you say be a private school, no more use Akiola, I mean more school, and I need use. You find some more use Akiola. So school now go to Akiola, na so supply at the mamma. No born a difference, I'm appointing myself to go and look for a Akiola and I some metal. And our uniform, no material, no. You find some which are green and red. Green and red, me could you say me could be at all. Opani, many cheaper than as the school is supplying to me. Same for me, I'm a pama. So why are these elements or units in the build-up made compulsory when parents can be given the opportunity to get them?
Okay, so the textbooks aspect, semi you and majority of the textbooks now you use is Akiola publisher or Ghana, but printing aspect any Ghana or printing no amano and a deba. It's your no printing or here cash I quita na odebe kwa print. Nti se o print a na ode ba drama so a. Omo beto no eto no directly etua ne ka. Nti no eho no waiting period bi anya den enim. But so the ba private school a ye free baby promissory estoppel. Yen na ye promise say oh bring me e be a quantities of 1,000 2,000 pieces. Na ono no a factor ni sika e de akwa akoye e de akpa. O de ba obesa atwen e bia bosome miensa bosome nsia. Ansa na wa yatime e de ni sika ni nyina ayede. Ama. So those waiting period ni nyina no so tumi ni printers na negotiate in such a way say bitnya ama ono so ebeboa. And for that matter it makes it more difficult to price it as it in the market. Anna ono no so our reliance say so when you one school obetimi a ton e be 1,000 copies ana eden e de amano or dan say be obe use e be 50 days and answer 100 days e de a ton e be 1,000 copies e were dramas and then every private forget say me say a social business venture every private school we also see say ma create a shop na matimi aton ade about 110,000 copies there. What is the market value? Me for be no atena ho no aton. I'll take security a better space near there. So therefore there will be a markup, which there's no wrong with that. So there will be a markup. And then also our parent, see I can say obi an konko tom famra. So I mean ebia Odi a happy FM, what you may rabbit you can you which means cannot turn a dana. But parent or can hon, ebia, none a jumano, This a bosome son na ebi a watumi ayɛ den enye sika kɔ kutua. Nti sɛ ɔkɔ class na wo kyerɛ de a, wobɛhu ni sɛ parents na ɛtɔ a we kuta bi, we nkuta bi, we kuta bi, we nkuta bi. Na akɔ akɔfa wɔ hawa ayɛ den aba. Ɛma adesua no ɛnkɔ so. Nti what for equality nti no, the turn wo school ni mu. Tia ya best screen no biya nsa ekuta ni books. Then the parents pay it based on specific payment plan or more acquire. That brings the disparities in the price component at the market and selling it in the school. And then oko bibi to say APA uniform to say nya yeah Kenya. Yes, ubetime nya material bi wa abonten. That material no and the school hono once a price difference variations all because of say a social business venture. Because anema kitten anema onunzo so timi gather enough funds e dey maintain school. No, don't forget say what I was saying constitution is say every person shall have the right to establish and maintain. So when you establish it, you have the liability upon your head to maintain it. If you fail to maintain the school using let's say a pragmatic measures, then somebody can take you on and bring a cause of action against you. So juma no juma edaho, and to remedy all this situation, no bra aban no betimi aba mu say okay, this is the situation. So books here mutimi use no ebia we are going into negotiation with the publishers. We will buy the whole quantities for the private schools, and then the private schools will then sell it and pay it to the the government into a consolidated account. In that sense, no, the control of the price can easily be done. What they mention as so there are certain things where maybe a buy no ground fat, she can't come. The government will just tell the publisher, say, "Mon supply books to informal private schools. We will deal with you and get your money." So you are the government is owing the publisher, and then we sell the books and give it to the government. In this time, government can control a lot of things. Somebody will say, wouldn't be interference in our business or anything. That wouldn't be interference because we are looking at quality education. Now, Samia Rahusan say, Abana Momumpono, books semni ade ontumi kan na asem nye den enwie na watima kwa akwadwen ho se ene enye se mfamoa enuanom a omowo private schools no enti se obusa na mu nkyeremu a eye den ewo mu no no
enti aban ni se bia ewo mo school fees ni mo sikasem ho bibia aban ni se bia.
As I'm speaking to you now no ye wo mra ahoro miensa ebo yen education ho eban your constitution no ewo ho I no no the supremacy of the laws in Ghana. Your act of parliament ahoro mi no your baako a friend at 1023 and no regulatory act ha no na kire kwanya e bi mfa so nti school any ade your pre-tertiary act 1049 and also so na kire say GS for mudwumedi omunye ni private schools for omuso dwumedi omunye ni provision mu ba bi ni nsesan bia ni ho a same kire say so bi beji ni school fees a say bia okoje approval bi free aban ho ede yeden eba because emrani share private school no yekete say on establishing school no on operating school no maintaining school no, and these three key words no means a lot in legal principles. And you know what the private schools and the community around us, you know, what we are doing, and they say, yes, we have that leverage, but we also know the kind of good intentions our parents have been with us. So what happens at this point, and they say, we enter into negotiations and then agree on payment terms. And this I mean, say friend na de bano. Publishers ahoro associations no negotiations ahoro sebeya omo betimi ene yen contract ya no masensan dada me ye betimi ahwese ye betimi variations bi wo na ye benya nia ye frɛ no sɛ ebia different payment terms no sa payment terms no ebeboa yen na sɛ ye ne awofo no ehia awofo bo na sɛ bia wotua 40% at the spot. na hoɔden ni a yɛbɛtumi ama no atua ebi a 25% anaa ebi a 40% anaasɛ a percentage a ɛyɛ lesser than the original percentage a yɛyɛ agree no so that ɛbɛtumi anya a long term na yɛbɛtumi de atua sika no na same adeɛ baako a ɛyɛ technical sɛsi ama yɛn this point in time no akɔyɛ wɔ ha de ama yɛn ne sɛ wohwɛ yɛn academic calendar na before COVID no na yɛbie school ɛwɔ September September no ɛyɛ na financial activities ɛwɔ August no in generally no yɛn na ɛnyɛ all that severe so but if it's a COVID ne baayɛ no this is the first academic year me can say your materials are ne ɛwɔ stock asan because on say 2019-2020 academic year no you started na you was stocks be brave ɛwɔ hɔ because of saying you was stocks wɔ hɔ nti no na am 2021 academic year na you started no yɛn old stocks na yɛ den yɛ ton 2022 academic year your old stocks but 2023 academic year no there your old stocks no be brave no asan I cover new ones aba. New ones I cover so is being attracted with the dollar rate. And what we are doing as a council, and they say we are using from January to August as a promotional term. Now you are reverting an academic calendar no at your core September from September 2023 near BA school to September 2023. In that sense, no. Bronya kwama na ya na yekodi bronya awofo kwa ha spend so much no ai maboto mu hwe wo na this ansensem we nyina eba no eso be ye den ebeti na atima ma yenya ye ho aye den atwitwa ye ho
opani tiawa ye den competition ni si ha yi onu menya adwen say in spite of say social venture mo ye no efa bi no private education ni bo no akosoro dodo.
Same quality education comes with quality expenditure or high expenditure. Same asempa ni say eno kwasemo na ye nuanu mo government schools no omuntumi nka capitation grant enso omo school feeding fee a omode ma omo ene won't say charge for kontokwase omo ni aduane wo mu school.
Yeah.
What you say? Sami Nancy University, you more 15%. One to say Legoni other universities no. Omoya arbitrarily EDB can who so money as 15% and so on.
Yeah.
And no question says, "Oh, some one child your way. It is a kind of then. It is a quality education. It's a very expensive. Why somebody travel away from Ghana and school their was in Europe? Do you remember the kind of even plane ticket Edo Mokoba any other day? So where we are now as a country, if the private schools have been able to set a certain standard for ourselves, now my quality education, what the government supposed to do, government can come in and partner them by issuing certain kind of training.
Before there's a very important question asked you, the bit about quality education is expensive. Yes. 3 SHS are here. And could I hear first batch 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020? They passed out with very good grades.
Even
at the basic level, you gave me some data, say 40% of Nkoda transition from your basic schools to secondary schools free the private schools.
Yeah, 42%.
42%. Now, if 42%, it means that the rest of them are coming from the public schools.
Yeah.
And if let's say more than 50% of Nkoda or more secondary school one more education, who is any quality, and 50% are from the public schools now. That means that indeed more quality now more cases into moji aboard suspect kakra.
I mean, there's other countries private participation in 10%. You see, most of the people are choosing private schools all because they don't have even access to education in Ghana. Sami koka swa kore. Oko kaswa private schools etwemu 1,000 and over. Public schools enuru 200. Kokumasi abusua kruwa. The whole abusua kruwa town na eno na otumfo kruwa onumu bonsu esie no. You see, there's no public education over there. This is what we are talking about. You see, so it is the negligence of the government to provide, let's say, educational facilities. No, and some well-meaning, let's say, Ghanaians, I want to say, omo investment, omo sika omo na omo 10 omo dying the attitude school, the abuama education ayeden akoso. What I'm trying to say is, you cite an example of free SHS. Nobody is saying it's a free SHS, no, and yet the best. It's the best. It is helping the social people to actually get the prerequisite standards in education. We understand. But I mean, when we are talking about education, it is not about pen and paper tests. It is not about so be a control pass. It is just the lowest level of education. And then me to me Facebook wall say, Ghana's education is not about what we need in Ghana. It's not about pen and paper tests. What we need is that we need education system that will be able to solve our sanitation, that will be able to solve our employability skills, that will be able to solve the kind of challenges that we are going through. When the white people came, Sami na omohuni say communication is a challenge for them. So they read education system, a year pen and paper test, reading and write. And that is at cake now. So if government is saying, say, we are spending much in the implementation of the free SHS, I'm expecting, say, free SHS ni akra nebe na okuta employability skills. Sami ofa no happy FM. Ubetime ja ukonso amano, amanetime operate because of person or journalist. Nti o ye otua general arts no, infuse you sadie no e won educational system. You understand? This is what we are talking about. And very soon you will see the trend that private schools will be picking to even widen the scope in education in Ghana.
Before, Mary show on Facebook, and I must say, sir, it's been a very, very educative, informative conversation. I'm not having an opinion. Michelle.
Midasi, Michelle.
Yo, and some better mechanic, Ramon. Imufa an opinion, Akano. You need option. It's not as if we have an option as Ghanaian parents. We don't have an option. The option for quality education is not there.